Anthony Dasher. I'm sorry about that. Hey, Kirby, a couple questions. Number one, if something were to happen to JT, is Stetson ready to roll in terms of his shoulder situation? And then number two, do you have Thanksgiving traditions, or is that something that's been tough to do while in coaching?
It's tough to do while in coaching. We have traditions a little bit for my family and for players and things like that in terms of eating. And we try to always have a good meal on Thanksgiving Day, kind of after the practice in the morning. And then we also have a meal when we come back. Traditionally we would go to, I guess, Georgia Tech, or Georgia Tech would come to us. And we would have a big team meal on Friday upon the return of all the players. So that's what we've always done. As far as who would go in, it would depend on the health of Stetson, obviously. So we would hope that he would be healthy enough.
Hey, Coach. What's been your thoughts on the job that Jamari Sowery has done this year at the left tackle? And as it pertains to protecting JT's blind side, how much more important, I guess, is his performance, considering JT is more of a pocket guy than, say, Stetson or Dwan?
I think it's important either way, because when it's your blind side, you don't see them coming all the time. So in terms of the importance of it, is probably just as important regardless of who the quarterback is. But it's not his natural position. It may not project as his next position at the next level, but he certainly has been a leader for us. He's worked tremendously hard. He fought to lose a lot of weight in the off season. He lost some weight. He cut his weight down, and he's been really competitive out there and fought and battled for us out on the edge against what's a tough league to do it in. Our league is a tough league to play tackle in, and he's held his own out there and done a good job.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to Mike Griffith and then Chip Towers.
Kirby, the offensive personality, I know you guys are a take – well, I shouldn't say I know anything. I was wrong the other day. You seem to take what the defense gives you. Can you elaborate on what you'd like your offensive personality to be these final three games?
Exactly what you just said. Take what they give us. You know what I mean? I don't want to – I felt a little bit bullheaded the other night, in terms of – not me, because I wasn't calling the plays, but, as far as trying to run into some of those looks was tough. But, we're committed to running the ball, because if you don't attempt to run the ball, you'll really have trouble protecting the passer. So the threat of the run keeps guys from pinning their ears back and just rushing the passer. But the goal would be to take advantage of what the opposing team gives us. And if they want to load up and stop the run, then we got to be able to have intermediate and explosive passing game. And if they're going to defend that, then we've got to be able to block people and get the ball through the inside, up the middle, and outside in the run game. So, we want to take what they give us. I think anybody would tell you that. It's like the textbook answer. I want to take what they give us. But what is that? That's balance. That's being able to do a little bit of both. And we didn't have that the other night, but a lot of that was dictated by the way they played us.
Kirby, obviously the passing game was explosive as you've looked for all year this past Saturday. How much of that had to do, obviously JT did a great job, but also with George getting back, Pickens, just his presence on the field and drawing a little more attention? Did that have anything to do with it?
I think it helped. I think you're looking at a combination of factors. Number one, they're a risk-reward defense. Their strength is in their front and their linebackers, not really in their secondary. And then, JT's made some really good throws. We won some 50-50 balls. We got some PIs. We got a hard count free play. A lot of those things you've seen all year. We didn't hit the hard count bombs we've hit in the past. We didn't hit them. You know what I mean? I go back to Matt Landers' one game. I thought he got PI'd, but we had the exact same situation, but we hit Jermaine's. We had guys open behind people. We missed them. So I think a combination of who we played, how they played us, George being in the game, Jermaine's. Part of Jermaine's progression has been, hey, we knew we were going to go through some growing pains with Darnell and Jermaine and Lyman. I go back to some of the early games where I got so frustrated. because Jermaine, you know, he might mess up, didn't know what to do. He wasn't sure. He got a holding. He didn't line up on the ball. I mean, there's just all these things. And JT was a beneficiary of some of that growth. So he got the good end of where Jermaine's kind of at his best, and his best is still ahead.
Okay, let's go to Mark Weiser and then Jake Rowe.
Kirby, I know you're missing Richard LeCount. What is the competition for playing time like in the secondary? Any spot in particular that's kind of heated? And where is Keely Ringo coming along from his injury?
Keely's actually been out there in a black shirt doing – I mean, I guess he'd say he does about 70% of the work. He doesn't hit anybody, and he doesn't get to do a lot of the drills, but he does individual things. So I've been really pleased with him trying and fighting to get out there. Guys get injured and they lose kind of focus, and it's like they get lost in the shuffle. But he's been in every meeting. He's very attentive. He takes notes. It's very promising to see that out of him. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon or anything. In terms of battles, you know, there's really 3 or 4 safeties. Brenny and Major are both competing with Chris and Lewis for playing time at safety. And then DJ is competing and playing more and more with Tyson and Stokes at the corner position. And then, of course, Mark and Tyreek and Poole all work at the star position.
Kirby, going back to that, you know, what you had to say about taking what the defense gives you and combining that with it takes what it takes. I've heard you say that quite a few times too. Was it gratifying that, you know, you weren't – obviously you were frustrated not being able to run the ball, but that the other part of the offense did step up, that you were able to take what they were able to give from you, what they were giving to you, and it, you know, it resulted in a win. Did that kind of – put a smile on your face to kind of see that where you guys had been struggling in the passing game?
Well, I'd seen it, like I told you, I'd seen it in so many practices, you know, when y'all said, do we have confidence we can throw it? Yeah, I mean, I'd seen those same plays. I'd seen, you know, Stetson and Dwan make some of those plays against us in practice. But so I knew it was there. It was just, you know, I mean, we were fortunate too, guys. I mean, we converted 2 third and really long, and then a red area play before the half that was huge too. So you're not going to win the percentages when you're in 3rd and 20 or 3rd and whatever the other touchdown was. I don't remember what it was. I mean, those are not favorable offensive positions to be in, and we were kind of rewarded by the risk they took. And that goes back to pass pro and all the work we do. We do a lot of work during the week on picking up things in protection, and our offensive line has been really good for 2 years at picking those kind of things up, and you can expose people on that. But if you don't play better on 1st and 2nd down, you're not going to have that kind of success, and that's my concern and focus.
All right, let's go to Seth Emerson, and then we'll go to Jillian.
Kirby, how much defensive focus in this day and age is not allowing explosive plays, forcing the opponent to sustain long drives, maybe force them into a mistake, and how much of that is easier said than done?
You know, I don't know. I'm torn between, you know, being the aggressor and you're going to give up explosives and fighting for negatives, and the whole havoc rate, because the guys with havoc rate are going to give up explosives. So you're trying to find a balance. You can look at the Kentucky game and the game the other night against Mississippi State, and we didn't give up the explosives. You know, we avoided the explosives for the most part. I mean, we gave up the big pass on Kentucky that was the touchdown, but outside of that, we didn't give up the explosives, but we still had long, extended drives. And if you don't put people behind the sticks, it's hard to win. It's hard to win on 3rd and 2 and 3 consistently. So I would much rather be the team that's the aggressor and plays aggressively, gets people behind the sticks. I think at one time, I don't know if it's still true, we were number 1 in the country in terms of giving up explosive runs. We were like the best at not doing it. So we had like maybe 1 explosive run in the entire season or something. So, I mean, we were doing a good job of that in the run game, but not so much in the pass game. And you know, that's probably my biggest regret is that not the 50-50 balls we lost. We're going to lose some of those and we're going to win some of those. But when you gift them, when you literally do not cover a guy, that's unacceptable.
Hey, Coach, do you think JT's emergence maybe spurred a pivotal moment for this offense, and what do you expect from him moving forward?
I missed the first part. What did you say? Ask.
Do you think JT's emergence maybe spurred a pivotal moment for the offense?
Well, I think the verdict's still out on that. I mean, I think the sample size we have is small, but the sample size that we have, meaning coaches in practice, we get to see him each and every day. You got to remember, I mean, we've seen this guy go with the ones for longer than everybody else has because he practiced the Missouri week the whole time there. So, I mean, I've seen him make some good plays. I've seen him make good decisions. I mean, he had some really good plays today, and we go good on good and compete on third down. He moved in the pocket, made some plays, and the biggest improvement he's made is in the pocket awareness, and that's where his best decisions have to come. But as far as a transformation or anything like that, I don't know. We got to find ways to run the ball, and that's probably the most important thing to me, so that we can be explosive both ways.
All right, let's go to Roddy, and then we'll see if Cody has a question.
Yeah, Kirby, if you would, can you? I hate to put you on the spot, but I'd like to hear about some of your freshmen that we haven't seen. You mentioned that we don't get to see practice as much. Can you tell us about the developments made by Broderick Jones, Tate Radledge, some of the guys, Austin Blasky, Lindbergh, Willick, guys like that we haven't seen, so we can get an idea of where they stand?
Yeah, if you give me those names, I'll do it. Willick, I have been extremely impressed with recently. So, like, he's climbing up the charts, in my opinion. He's really smart. He's very conscientious. It's important to him. But he missed, I mean, I forget how long it was. I don't even know if y'all knew. He had an MCL sprain, maybe the last scrimmage of camp. And so there was like 3 or 4 weeks or something where he didn't even practice. So it was like, golly, this guy's going to be way behind. And now he's come back. He's cut. He had to lose a lot of weight. I think he's lost 30 pounds. He's in the 330 range, and he is a massive guard that he struggles in pass pro right now, but he's going to be able to move people, and that's what you want at the guard position. You want a massive, big man that's hard to run through. So I'm excited about him, and he's just so bright and such a good kid. Tate was making really good progress, was getting some 2 right tackle, I guess it was, with Condon when Condon was out. But Tate had an injury and has missed about 2 or 3 weeks, and he's just come back. So he's behind a little bit, but we were really pleased with Tate in camp. He just missed some time with injury. Broderick, missed time early, and Broderick's been playing left and right tackle and has been kind of probably be our 4th tackle in the game the last couple of weeks. And now that Owen's back, because Owen had some illness and sickness stuff, so Owen's come back, and Owen and Broderick are kind of fighting for that spot behind Truss, Warren, and Jamari. So very pleased with Broderick. Broderick needs a year in the weight room, but Broderick's a good athlete. He's just going to have to get stronger and more physical in the run game. But he can pass pro and stay in front of people. And the beauty is these guys get to go against our outside backers one-on-one in pass rush every day, and I love it. I mean, there's not a day on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we don't make them go good on good and have to go block really good people, because it's the only way to get better. Blasky continues to improve. I hadn't seen a guy as tough and as hard working as he is. He really works hard. And Chad's been there throughout, working at guard down there with us on the scout team. So when we look across the scout team, and you got Cam Kenny, Lindbergh, Willick, Blasky, and Tate across the scout team, it's good. We get really good work with those guys. I don't know if there's anybody else I didn't cover.
Van Pran?
Yeah, Van Pran. I mean, he runs with the twos. He reps with the twos, so Warren can flip at the guards. So Warren Erickson goes back and forth at guard. Van Pran works at center. Been really consistent. He's getting better fast, really smart. Felt like if something happened to Trey, it would still be close between Erickson and Van Pran, who would go in. But Van Pran is closing that gap so that Warren can play the 2 guard spots.
Let me ask you, not to take up too much time, but can you give us something on Ladd McConkey and Darren Branch?
Yeah, Ladd is another guy that was coming on. It was like really exciting because he goes on the scout team and does so many good things. Man, he's tough. He's physical. He blocks well. And then he had a contact trace that he had to miss 14 days. So it crushed him, because when we were down receivers, we thought we were going to get to bring him up and really work him, and then he got 14 days and just got back. So we've been limited what we could do with him. And Branch has worked on the scout team. He missed a little bit of time in fall camp, but he's worked with the scout team and been really competitive, and hopefully he grows into a good player, but he's just not ready right now.
Thank you.
Cody, do you have a question?
Sure. Coach, when it comes to you and Coach Bobo with the family history of coaching, what is it about that makes you guys so effective as head coaches or as coaches?
I'm not sure. Will you ask that again? I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying our families?
Both you have coaching in your family. What is it about, it seems like a lot, Muschamp, the same kind of thing. What is it about having that in your family that makes you effective at what you do?
Well, I think you grow up around it. It's like in your DNA. And it's like every coach doesn't want his son to be a coach. He wants him to be something better, and then they end up being a coach anyway, because that's all they've grown up around. So I know my dad never discouraged me from coaching, but he never encouraged it either. And Mike's dad would probably say the same thing. But it's when you see it, kind of in your parents, like it was in our two dads who grew up Highway 84, South Georgia football, a lot of great matchups, and Friday night being the most important thing in the town. It's just kind of it's in your DNA. So it was that way for both of us, and we're both competitive people probably because of our parents.
Connor Riley, I'm sure you have a question.
I do. Thanks, Clyde. Kirby, now that you've been without him for 3 games, what do you think this defense misses the most without having Richard LeCount out there?
I just really think confidence, I don't know what to call it. Playmaking ability, because, he always made plays. That's the one thing about Richard. You cannot find a game that he didn't, have some crazy break out of the middle or run down a reverse or just, make a acrobatic interception. Just that moxie and playmaking ability is probably one of the biggest things, and confidence. He breeds confidence, and it just kind of it trickles down into the other players with Richard, and probably miss some of that, just that playmaking ability.
Yeah, we got time for maybe 2 more questions. Let's open up to anybody.
Kirby, can you talk about Lewis Seenan? You talk about Richard being such a leader. Where is Lewis at, his maturation, and what he means back there now?
He's talented, and he's getting more and more instinctive. He's a really good tackler. I think, challenge him in the leadership department. It's not something that he's had to do, that he hasn't been natural and comfortable with that, but he certainly can do it, because Lewis is one of those people that leads by example. He works extremely hard. Academics, he never misses anything. He works really hard on the practice field, but he's not extremely vocal either. So he sets a great example for the players.
Hey, Kirby,
if I could follow on if I could follow on Pickens, just is he, based on what you saw this past weekend in practice, is he all the way back, and are you seeing what you always expect to see out of George Pickens on the field?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he's been all the way back. He was really close for a couple of weeks, and then the Missouri week, which we didn't get to play, but he was good to go that week, and I thought he's been good in practice. He's hard to cover, that's for sure. So I don't think anything's wrong with him. Go ahead, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean.
Sorry, Kirby. Last one for me. How many times you pick Mike off through the years in practice?
You have to ask Mike that. He never admits to it much, but I have a few fond memories of flipping some balls to him, but he probably won't admit that much. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.